All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Leo Rush versus Extreme Tiger. For the record, I don't know what an Extreme Tiger is.
It's like a tiger.
Yeah.
More extreme, Rick.
More extreme. Wouldn't that just be a saber-toothed tiger at that point?
That you know what? Saber-toothed tiger is a gimmick that I'm surprised has not happened yet. There's been a million different shitty
What
indie
if what if Zack Sabre Jr. teamed up with Extreme Tiger and they could be
son of a bitch.
Extreme Saber Tiger?
Saber-toothed tiger actually that's actually fucking brilliant.
I've been on a roll the last 11 hours.
Well, the
That
fact that
guy.
you're watching something with an indie match with Leo Rush in it and you haven't fucking, shot yourself in the head.
Eh, it was perfectly acceptable wrestling.
Yeah, I
I,
had it.
uh, I, as I age, I have to find more and more ways to delude myself into believing that I can separate the artist from the art.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
good
mean,
morning, everybody.
Leo's fine. He hasn't been canceled. He just had his issues with the WWE, like I'm sure many people do. And I think, probably in the future there will be times where people go, oh, you know what? Maybe he was right for hating working at the WWE.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am the Wrestling Nerd Radio Network's answer to Simon Miller, except I'm not positive about anything. I'm just in better shape than everyone else. The Sussman, Rick Sussman, and I am here with my teammate, the real American dadass, Jesse Long. There, that one's for you, Jesse.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank you.
we are back after a couple of unfortunately some just wonky timing. We
Yeah, it was
try and
weird
do the
timing.
show, yeah, every other week, but in the last couple of months we've had random Saturday events sort of happening,
Yeah.
and of course celebration of the birth of one of Jesse's Hellions, which had to have come to pass, and we're very
Yes.
excited that Jesse's spawn continues to excel at living, which is
Yeah.
great.
No, he's done a good job. He did a good job. Actually, he was the one that we had a brush with. Oh no, it's not going to happen. That was
Ah,
that was fun. That was fun.
yeah.
Uh, not to get too serious, but holding your I don't even know if he was one yet. I don't even, yeah, it was right before he turned one. He had a seizure, and
Mm.
so holding your not even 1 year old child in your arms, going, he's not even gonna make it to one while he's like turning like blue because he's not breathing. That was really fun. And I hope to never. That was one of the worst experiences of my life. Luckily, it turned out it was a febrile seizure, which the next day my mother-in-law was like, "Oh yeah, Nikki's had a couple of those when she was a baby. It's fine. It's scary, but it's fine." I'm just like, I didn't know that.
It's fun watching your internet try and catch up with your exceedingly irreverent
Oh yeah,
behavior.
I have to be still so the internet doesn't freak out. Like,
In fairness, you chose to do this in your pool
yeah, that's
as
my fault.
some sort of, I don't know, testament to your douchebaggery, which I appreciate. I
Yeah,
appreciate. However, if you're going to podcast from out of your pool, you would better have your own internet, like your own internet. Like you should be named Jesse Spectrum. Jesse
I'm,
Spectrum
I'm
sounds like a
sure. I'm
super
sure Jesse and Spectrum probably has a conversation that many people have had over the years.
yeah. That's also true. So anyway, welcome everybody to the Pride Edition episode of
Yes.
the Team HAMMA FIST presents our POWA OWA. I am wearing Jesse's incredible design "Wrestling is for Everyone" shirt. Unfortunately, you can't see the whole thing, or you'll stand up and see my dick print, and there's no point to that, as we are already plenty canceled
Ah,
as it is.
yeah. Yeah, I actually was trying to find my Pride shirt. I couldn't find it, so I went with a rebellious Star Wars shirt. So
Yes.
something.
Well, I mean, listen, if only it had a rainbow on it, because as we know, Disney in June wants the gay money, and they've been after that gay money for many years. Disney, for all of its faults, of which I am no fan, as has been very well documented, has
Rick,
always
you're not a fan of Disney corporate. What the?
they have always welcomed Pride Month, however, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was always a thing to see a bunch of dudes at Disney wearing red shirts.
yeah,
That was a legit thing for a
yeah.
very long time, and that was
And they've always been
probably
they've always had
yeah.
gay day. They've always like been supportive of gay days.
Mhm.
You know.
So say what you will, but Disney figured out a long time ago that the LGBT plus community has a lot of disposable income. So give me the money.
especially if you put their symbols on it, and then they're like, oh,
Yes.
oh, yeah,
Well, I think I saw one of my favorite memes so far this month is "Give me your gay money," and I was like, yeah, all right, that's cool.
we now accept gay coin.
Yeah, how Gaycoin hasn't become a Doge-based meme economy, I don't know, but that would be great.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah.
Queer coin?
We'll get
Ooh,
on
there
that,
you
right?
go.
Queer coin.
Querge? Querge?
Yeah, I don't know how to. There's got to be a Doge way of saying something LGBT related. We're gonna get on that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I have actually looked into how to make crypto because I was just like, not that I really am interested in crypto, but it was one of those like, okay, if it's something as simple as I pay $10 into this website and I upload an image, and then there's fucking hashtag internet title coin, I would have there would have been at least like 5 Wrestling Nerds Radio Network based coin out there, but
More,
it's not
more
easy.
importantly, the coin, if you can figure out how to make a new coin like Ethereal or any of this other horse shit,
Yeah.
what it really truly is, more than anything, is you start at a value base that is so innocuous, like one trillionth of a dollar, which is what
Hmm.
happened with Dogecoin.
Yeah.
And then when it goes up to 50 cents, people are like, oh, well, the price increase from a trillionth
Yeah.
to 50 cents
Yeah.
is
And
literally zillions of
yeah, it's
dollars.
not a penny, but it's like it's an atom of a penny. But then if it's
Right.
an atom of a penny and now it's worth 50 cents, that is a big price increase.
It's a gigantic one. So that's the whole
Yeah.
point of the crypto boom and bust. A
Yeah.
lot of my friends are trying to get me into crypto because it's a quick, easy scheme. And here's my response to all of it. I'm good.
Yeah.
You guys have
Yeah.
fun. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
The Froge coin at work it was 100% that we'll make stickers and that is about it. We will
well,
continuously joke about Froge coin, but we're not gonna try to
I mean,
you know
like I said,
actually send Froge coin to the moon.
I just want to be on a spaceship. I want it to get on the moon. Like, if a
Yeah.
coin actually makes it to the moon, that's important. But there's
Yeah.
only been 12 people who set foot on the moon. So,
Yeah.
anyway. On this week's episode, Jesse and I are going to sort of freewheel it because holy
Hmm.
shit, everything's terrible.
Yeah.
And it comes a time where Jesse and I, we've been doing this more often than not. Typically, we have a rundown and we try and adhere to it, but
Yeah.
lately, I don't know. It's just been like, oh look, there's Kevin Sullivan, Jimmy Hart, and that chick who puts horns on her head. We might as well talk about them, I guess. I don't know. First, I'd like to start with something very positive that I can take credit for, and that is Nick Camarado. And I'm going to take credit for it because Nick has put in a lot of time and a lot of effort and is a gigantic human being, of which I did not know for a very long time that he's
Yeah.
so big, or I would not have made fun of him to his face when I did. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit there and go like, okay, how personal, how attacky did I get back on iowrestling.net and in my eFed promos? Did I not say that I would shit on his mother's grave so I could win the PCW jobber weight title?
Well, I can tell you this, and this is a true story. Nick Camarado, who just main evented AEW Dynamite last night for those playing at home in a bull rope on a pole match against Dustin Rhodes. I don't know if it was on a pole. I'm just making the.
No, there was no pole. I actually did watch it. It was pretty good. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've just been listening to too much Ollie North, and I just it's everything now. I like that he started incorporating the barely an inconvenience gimmick from Screen Rant. So like all of my social media and all of my YouTube, like the algorithm that decides what YouTube should play for me doesn't even know what the fuck to do. It's like, you want to watch two dudes out in the middle of Cambodia build something, or would you like to watch more Hearthstone videos, or perhaps pro wrestling? And I'm just
that's gotta be it for me too. That's it for me too. It's do you want to watch more pro wrestling, or would you like to hear more about Power Rangers toys? And I was like, poor algorithm, man.
Like there's some CIA agent who's in charge of listening to all the bullshit I spew on the internet, and that guy's probably like, Jesus Christ, Rick, pick a lane. Just pick a lane. Come on,
I really like. Eventually, I need to know my specifically assigned CIA agent's name, and I'd like to send him a condolence card.
Always, whenever we're having very long conversations about politics, which we don't anymore because now politics has returned to business as usual, i.e., nothing terrible happening, but also lots of bad things happening, but no one talks about it. So it's okay again. So
it's
now
the color of his tie is blue, therefore it's okay now.
Yeah. So some small changes have happened, but mostly everything's still miserable, but nothing really to talk about. So we would constantly reference the nice CIA man who's apparently listening, and we would say, and in case you're wondering, sir, my underwear is pink today. But let's talk about Nick Camarado. Let's talk about our history with him. Let's talk about how awesome it is to see a honest-to-God 20-year friend of ours main event a major pro wrestling television show. We've got a lot of friends in pro wrestling. Hang on, I got to say We've had a lot of friends in pro wrestling go very far, but no one has ever had the journey of Nick Camarado, who started out very literally as a teenager on a wrestling board with Jesse and I, only a couple of years younger than Jesse, I think.
Yeah, he's only a few years younger than me,
And he started out in an E-Fed, just like we did, or I guess you did. I was always the internet. But
yeah, I think you were in it before I was.
No. I was definitely not. Because I got brought in by my buddy Sal, and you and Jetty were already there. Anyway, it's not here nor there. He is a young person who wanted to make pro wrestling his life, and unlike Jesse and I, actually did something about it. So Nick started out as a really shitty E-Fed poster who had some good ideas, but by and large, you could tell wasn't super wordsmithy and maybe wasn't a high level intelligence. But the one thing Nick never did was bitch about anything. He was always just very excited to be there and, seemed to actually enjoy the concept of E-Fedding, which, if I'm honest, is not something I could ever take credit for or say I ever did. I think it's just because he just loves pro wrestling. So he hung out with us on the internet. I just saw one of the Hollywood Blondes take a suplex in the middle of a road. That's weird. Sorry, not Hollywood Blondes, Dirty Blondes. Anyway, and now he's a full-fledged wrestler. He got into NXT, I think, twice and was released twice. I think.
It was just once. I think he had like a tryout, and then later on he got signed. But then he got fired last year with their big COVID cuts. So,
which you and I always thought that was weird, because when we finally saw Nick for the first time as a full-grown man, we were like, "That's a huge man.
Oh my God, yeah,
that's a big boy."
Yeah, Nick is a big boy. He trained at Monster Factory, so so I know he has a connection. He had like a connection to QT, who he's in a stable with now. He has a connection to Matt Riddle, which is unfortunate, but
depending on
who you are.
I mean, Raw is only good because of Matt Riddle, or the only thing good on Raw is because of Matt Riddle. So I don't know. Take what you get, I guess.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. He trained at the Monster Factory. I'm sure he's trained other places. I don't think he only trained at the Monster Factory, and
I only
And
trained for
obviously,
6 weeks at the Monster Factory, and that was it.
yeah. No, and then obviously trained NXT. I it the it was obviously very disappointing last year when he got let go. If anything, just because he didn't nothing not a knock on him, but he didn't do anything in NXT. NXT didn't do anything with him.
They didn't give him anything to
He
do.
had he in the beginning he kind of had his gimmick that he kind of has now, which is just Nick Pomerado,
Nick Camarado, like two
big
thirds,
burly dude.
two
He
thirds. What's his nuts? Can't think of the guy. Wild Man. Oh my God.
I don't know, but he was in a tag
Brody.
team right before.
Jesus Christ.
Who?
Brody.
Oh yeah. He looks like a swole
Like a
Bruiser Brody.
like
And
a very ripped to shred Bruiser Brody who's a little bit more
yeah,
soft spoken and a little less
which to
insane.
be perfectly honest, if you have someone on your roster who looks like a ripped to shit Bruiser Brody, how the fuck do you not do something with it?
That has always been my question. That has always been my
I mean,
question.
that's a question we're gonna have for about 7 different people a little bit later. But
just shortly.
yeah. So then he was in a team with Rick Boogs, who's just now on SmackDown. They were a team for a little while in like the house show circuit, but then the house show circuit went dead. And then so did his time at NXT. And then obviously it was really disappointing. But I'm glad he made his he became one of like the part-time players on AEW Dark during the no fans at Daly's Place era, and that obviously he proved himself invaluable. And they saw something in him because the people in AEW have eyeballs. So I'm really glad to see obviously. So now he's part of this faction with QT and Anthony Ogogo and Aaron Solo, which those are all fine people. Unfortunately for Anthony Ogogo, it was Memorial Day weekend when he had to face Cody. So.
Yes, Anthony Ogogo suffering the fates of being dispatched by the Homelander for the benefit of all Americans.
Being foreign on an American holiday.
Well, that'll teach him.
Yeah,
that will teach him.
Such a foreign heel, British.
I love Anthony Ogogo and how he's like America's shit, and I'm like, well, let's not talk about England's history, okay?
I do love the notion of how a foreign heel works. I don't think a foreign heel works in wrestling. I mean, obviously it really doesn't. But like the notion that the foreign heels can come out and be like, your country is shit, and I hate it. My country is so much better. And I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, well, you're probably right.
We all have the internet now, though. Let me.
No, England.
Oh God! Looks like Belarus. Oh no!
Yeah. Probably in the prequel movie to Problematic Histories, that is about England. So
let's look up another history real quick. We're gonna check out China. Ooh, we're not gonna do that. Okay. So very big shout out to our good friend Nick. He was. To his credit, I think he's. I appreciate him big timing us now and ignoring our existence because
you know what, that's perfect. I love it. It's amazing.
It is fun. It is fun being big timed by a guy who I trained how to do promos when he was 17. But it's okay. It's
17 nothing, Rick. We're talking 14.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot he was really young. But look.
So was I. I was 14 when I started that shit. I was 14, and so he would if he was around like maybe like a year later than me. So he was like 13,
12, 13 years old.
12, 13. Yeah,
could have been Blade.
But I was still losing to him.
We'll never know. At any rate, I'm glad that he's big timing us now because that makes me happy. So good on you, Nick Camarado. Hopefully you'll remember that we exist. But if you don't, I'm proud of you. It's like that scene in Good Will Hunting where Ben Affleck goes to find Matt Damon. And he's like, oh, I guess he's just not here anymore. And he goes, oh, yeah, he's just not here anymore. Good. So yeah, he's the person at the Wrestle Power reunion brunch that we're all just like, oh, where's Nick? Oh, Nick's being successful. He's off actually doing what we were all pretending we were doing. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's enough good time.
you got MMA. You got your MMA stuff, and I would say that probably leaves you being like the second or third closest in the group of nerds. I would say.
I don't know. I mean, Jason's got his whole cat sanctuary thing up and running. Plus, he lives in the future, so there's
Yeah.
that. Ryan has a family, and that seems pretty good. And then Andrew and the Packers always make him sad. So we miss our.
Oh, there you go.
friends.
Yeah.
We miss all of them. Also, I'm still mad about my title reign not being overshadowed by the Man in Black. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm still salty that I never won the Wrestle Power title over JMC, so it's fine. It's something that keeps me up at night. It's fine.
I guarantee you those guys don't think about it anywhere near the level of
Oh no, no one does. No one does.
Now that we've had 5 minutes of positive good talk,
yeah,
it's time that we come to a conclusion about pro wrestling biggest industry leader.
Speaking of WWE budget cuts.
Yeah, Jesse Long, I have gotten to the point where I don't know if I could bring myself to really talk about the WWE anymore. What do you got? What are you trying out?
I got me a Liquid Death.
Oh, okay.
You can get it at Publix now. I am so happy.
I'm not paying $1.69 for water.
I'm
just not doing it.
No, I understand that. I did make the mistake of I had to go to Publix and but I was like, I'm thirsty. Oh, I'll grab a Liquid Death. And so I'm like in my car and I'm just drinking it along, and I just realized if a cop passes me, I am in such shit because this looks like I don't know, like a tall Modelo in passing.
Jesse, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. No cop is looking twice at you.
This is true. 100%.
You could be in your car with like a crack pipe and an AK over your shoulder, and a police officer will take one look at you and be like, wrong shade, and move along. That will be the end of it. I assure you.
I'll get a from them, and amen, brother.
I assure you.
No, you're not wrong.
The WWE released a whole mess of people again this week, and the majority of these releases, much like the week prior and the week prior, not much like the week, I'm sorry. The majority of these most recent releases have a lot of people in the industry going, do what now?
Yeah, this was one of the few times, we were talking about Nick getting cut last year, and again, no disparagement to Nick, but he was a PC trainee. He hadn't even shown up on WWE. He hadn't even shown up on NXT TV yet.
I don't think he would say too much to the otherwise. I'd be like, well, they weren't doing anything with me. So
but we're talking about Braun Strowman and Aleister Black. Aleister Black closed SmackDown last week. He was the last thing was him kicking Big E's head into the third row of video screens. So the fact that they fired active top level talent. Santana Garrett, then Santana Garrett was on that.
Santana getting fired was probably the only member of that group to be released, or everyone just sort of went, oh, okay, well, they don't do a whole lot with her.
Yeah, but Buddy Murphy, they weren't really doing anything with him either, but he was still
3 fucking years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's been a top level talent for a while. He's been circling around, Seth Rollins and the Mysterios for the past 6 months, and all of a sudden you're just like, I really feel like this has to. But I'm wondering aloud if this is them going, who wants out? We'll give you an out because they obviously notoriously don't and obviously Aleister Black has his issues with the company because they fired his wife Barry.
Let me cut you off.
Mm,
Have some folks who are still in the industry who I've talked to about this,
mm.
and
Give me
they
give
were,
me that Rick Sussman inside take.
well, it's not really much of an inside take because it's the God's honest truth.
Mm.
They also were blindsided by a lot of these.
Oh yeah,
I
I've
I
heard
have
that
a
too.
I have a feeling that none of this was planned. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and reading a lot of, stuff. I think this was done completely and totally on the fly by what we're seeing from the WWE is a very slow, out in the open, hostile takeover. We're
Yeah,
actually watching it happen in real time. And you're watching the McMahons slowly lose all their power, and people who are making the major decisions of the company are no longer named
yeah.
Vince or Shane or Stephanie
Hmm.
or Linda or
Definitely.
even Hunter or
Yeah,
Paul.
Paul. Yeah,
You're watching people get cut left, right, and center. The only logical answer is what a lot of people are predicting, which is the WWE is about to be sold, probably to NBC Universal.
probably.
Um, Probably. But there's no way to verify that. But that
No,
is
of
the
course. I
only
mean, yeah,
logical answer.
yeah. Or
There
the
is no
only
other logic involved.
yeah. That's the only how exactly. No, you have to imagine that's exactly what's going on. I think to the 2 points to that. Yeah, it was 100% like blindside. I remember listening to on the Wrestle Talk podcast. He was mentioning that um, that day, Liv Morgan was like interviewed by somebody, and she was just like over the moon, super excited about like what the future holds for the Riot Squad, and then like she gets off that podcast and it's like, oh, my best friend just got fired. So like, yeah, there was these people were like 100% caught off guard, and the about to get sold. I think it was some I don't know who the hell it was. It was Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp or somebody in the industry who actually knows things. Uh, they said that yeah, Nick Khan, who's the new the person seemingly spearheading this massive takeover, no relation to Tony, just bought a house in California. He's not staying in Stanford for very long.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I mean, obviously, people can have more than one house, but like, you know,
I have a feeling that this is all sort of like if you sort of put all the pieces together. So Raw hasn't just been bad, it's been stagnant. It's been literally the same show in one way, shape, or form for about 6 months since
oh
WrestleMania.
yeah,
Maybe
it's
even
been
prior to
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, even before that. Yeah, it's just been the worst, and it's been impossible to watch. And the only way I get Raw now is through listening to podcasts of people like Wrestle Talk. I only listen to Wrestle Talk. I only have so
Yeah,
many.
my
I can't
interest
listen to a
in
million
Raw,
of them, but
I'm gonna say my interest in Raw is a review that lasts about 5 minutes.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I can't for the life of me figure out, like, if you had cut all those people, right, and Braun Strowman wasn't on that list, I would have just said it's the WWE being the WWE. I don't care.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
fact that you
they have
include
like Aleister Black. Honestly, Aleister Black is probably one of those like big names. Everyone's like, I'm like, it doesn't. That one doesn't surprise me that much because he had been sitting on the shelf, not injured, but just on the shelf. Creative has nothing for you for 6 months, and it all stemmed from the issues that the company had with his wife. And
right.
like you can't imagine you can't like Zelina Vega the way she left. Everyone's been just sitting there, like everyone like Zelina's over here, and everyone's looking at Aleister Black, going like, "Okay, what's next? You coming? You going? What you doing?" And and so that one doesn't surprise me, but
No, the
again,
fact that the fact that they cut Braun Strowman, who was recently world champion, who was fighting for
mhm,
the world title, who was on Raw every week. They
yeah,
created a freaking sound clip for him as his big
yeah,
choo-choo move. He's gone down in recent WWE history as some of the most memorable moments, whether you like it or
yeah,
not. Like, from the fun stuff of like lifting over giant, trucks to winning the tag titles with a child. But
yeah,
Braun Strowman has been a major piece of the WWE puzzle for a while. So
Yeah.
firing him after you give him a $3.5 million contract extension for the next 5 years is more than suspect. It is
Yeah.
beyond suspect. It is, you're literally just cutting money for the sake of cutting money. This is not
Hmm.
long-term booking. This is not, well, we've got to free up some talent. Who are you freeing up Braun Strowman money for? Who are
Yeah.
you going to go get?
Exactly. Yeah. No. Getting rid of Braun Strowman. That's the same. Like, I mean, that's like getting rid of Seth Rollins, or
Yeah. No, it really is. That's
maybe not Roman Reigns, but like getting rid of
it's
like that
very close.
level.
No, no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
it's close.
It's very close to just saying, well, Roman Reigns costs too much. Because
Hmm.
if you can't figure out that one of the key pieces of the company is Braun Strowman, I don't know what to tell
No,
you.
and like it's not like it's not like we've been sitting through 5 years of Braun Strowman spinning his wheels. He had gotten to the point where he was white hot massive over too. Like the get these hands shtick was like he had some genuinely like iconic moments, and he was always seemingly a company man. He did whatever the WWE wanted. He lost. He got into better shape than Yeah, he was ripped to shit when he got started, and then he got in better shape. Um, like, and he did every stupid little cartoony thing that they asked of him, and so yeah, it was them seeing who's the most expensive person that we can lose,
I
and
mean, you would have to think, but
yeah,
I still don't think that he's a guy that could have been lost. I
yeah,
still don't understand this doesn't make any sense to me. To say that you can lose Braun Strowman is inauthentic. It's
yeah,
bullshit. This
yeah.
is not Kevin Nash sitting on the side of the road
No,
collecting a paycheck from WCW.
yeah,
Like,
and nothing, not to be overly crass about it, but like if you're WWE, if you're just trying to save money, how do you get rid of Braun Strowman and not just offload 30, you know, NXT and 205 live people? Like, if you're
it's
just
not
trying to
even
save
that.
money,
I'm gonna let you in on a secret. $3.5 million in 5 years is $15 million. I'm
yeah,
gonna let you in on a little bit of a secret. That's nothing. That
well, yeah,
is that is nothing.
yeah,
Uh, I, I don't know how better else to say it, but that is nothing.
yeah, no,
So
no.
the
In
amount of
in big
money
money,
that
in
they're
big money, Jeff
saving.
Bezos, Jeff Bezos just shit out a check for $15 million just now.
He makes $15,000 a minute,
So
Bezos.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it takes him about 3 hours. Anyway, um, I don't really know what the point is to watching this program anymore. There is no way to get invested. There's because if guys like in the main event or people who were just part of the women's tag division going for the tag belts, which I know the women's tag division, there's no need to get into it.
yeah,
I know. But if these folks are not worth the WWE's time to curate, who's to say that Big E just doesn't get chopped next or
yeah.
any of it? Again, it's Braun Strowman. It's not a guy like whom we all love, like Samoa Joe, who we think is great, but was definitely at the twilight of his career when the
Of
WWE
course,
picked him up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
Samoa Joe's 100% like a good example of someone that could have been let go. As much as we love Samoa Joe, it's like okay, well, he was just a commentator, and he would have had to go through some medical hoops to get really clear, just because he's had a lot of injuries and he's not old, but
let me
he's yeah.
let me remind you of something. Whose contract recently expired?
Uh, I who?
Daniel Bryan. Amdrag.
Oh yeah,
Amdrag's
yeah.
not under WWE contract
No, he's
anymore.
not. No, he's
So
not.
Amdrag is gone, and Braun Strowman is gone, and obviously Samoa Joe is gone that we mentioned. But
And
think
Aleister
about
Black,
the
like still like top level
Alistair Black.
talent.
Yeah, so think about the main event scene right now, which is now on Raw, literally just Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, because the other guy who was part of the main event scene literally just got fired.
I know.
So there is no main event scene in like who's the other main event? Name a guy on
Like,
Raw
let me think.
right
Like
now who could go for the belt. Because you can't say
Randy
Miz
Orton.
because
I will give you Randy Orton. Randy Orton. Yeah, it's what it
but
is.
Randy Orton's in a tag
No, he's in a tag team shtick with Matt Riddle.
mhm.
But like, yeah, I mean, you have people that you could elevate, but people that are currently that believably you could go like, oh, maybe they will actually beat Bobby Lashley for the title outside of
Who's
Drew.
the Intercontinental? Is the Intercontinental? Is it the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title on Raw?
U.S. title's on Raw, and that's Sheamus. And
Sheamus could you could bubble him up,
oh yeah, I mean you've got people on Raw, but again, like we're sitting here
but
like
no one.
you thought the Intercontinental title was on Raw, and you didn't even know who the champion. Who is the Intercontinental champion, right?
You just said it was. Is it Shinsuke Nakamura?
No, it's Apollo Crews on SmackDown.
Really? Good for Apollo. I
Yeah,
didn't know he won the
yeah,
IC belt. Good for him.
yeah, exactly.
Oh wait, I did know that because he's doing that
Yeah,
weird like I have a Nigerian accent now suddenly thing.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's his real accent, Rick, and he's finally letting his real accent out.
I mean, listen, I love M'Baku a lot, but I think hitting the M'Baku side of Black Panther today, not
Mm-hmm.
as potent as say when Black
Yeah,
Panther came out, or
yeah,
maybe even when Avengers Endgame came out.
yeah.
But yeah, I love M'Baku. I think he's one of the best characters of Black
That
Panther. Period.
exactly. Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to completely run out of ideas, as if the WWE haven't run out of ideas already, and just waiting for Apollo just to go Apollo forever, and like that's just
I'd be okay with that actually. Like if
yeah,
instead
it
of
would
this, you did like
yeah
an
yeah,
O, so he like
and it
brought
wouldn't be
his hand.
forever. It'd be like because it's WWE, so they're always like they're the parody of everything, so it'd be like Apollo Everlasting or something. That's actually pretty good,
Apollo
and
Everlasting.
yeah.
Like the sun, I will never burn out. Eternal Apollo.
Until the next financial quarterly call.
Or somebody gets apparently a hair up their ass and just
Yeah.
decides to. Well, I mean, he probably doesn't make enough money to even be noticed, but like,
No. Yeah.
I don't know, man. So I have friends in the WWE to this day. I talk to them. It's getting to the point where every conversation is not about wrestling. It's just
Yeah.
not. It's about nerdy stuff. It's about,
Oh yeah.
what I'm doing with jiu-jitsu, but it has nothing to do with the WWE and pro wrestling because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't like talking to people while their world's falling apart around them. I don't want to
No,
remind
I
them
wouldn't
of that
either.
shit.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, like circling back, like I know when Nick got fired, I didn't like I didn't want to be like, hey buddy, how's it so you got so I read on the dirt sheets that you got fired. How's that?
How's
How's
that
that
working for you?
going? Yeah, exactly.
So I just thought of something, but I want you to think of a three-man group in the WWE that
Three-man
these
band.
three guys. Yes, they were very close.
Okay, but yeah.
There's lots of photos with them together, even to this day. And the three men in question are EC3, Drake
Uh-huh.
Maverick, and Braun Strowman.
Uh-huh.
What if
Yeah.
I told you that only Drake Maverick would be the remainder?
And he got fired last year too, but they changed their minds.
You can't figure out how to make money with Ethan Carter III, Rockstar Spud, and one of your own homegrown fucking talent.
Who's 9-foot infinity and can run around and can who can sprint around like a motherfucker and can flip trucks that you've partially tipped over already and like I'm gonna steal a line from Wrestle Talk. This company.
Well,
This is, I mean, there's a reason why I don't watch. This is exactly why I don't watch anymore. And it's okay. Yeah, I could be negative about the the corporate side of it, blah, blah. But how do you what's the point of watching? And I think you touched on it earlier. What's the point of watching this company? Why am I going to get invested in it if even at the top, at the highest level? Okay, yeah, fine. Maybe it's hard to get attached to 205 Live because, you know, somebody might just get fired randomly. But what's the point of watching Raw? What's the point of buying the network and watching, you know, whatever the fuck, WrestleMania Backlash or, you know, SummerSlam Retribution for with a world title match with a guy who might be fired in a week. You know,
that's the weirdest.
what's the point? How do you get invested in this company?
That's the weirdest part. Is everyone agrees that three-man slobber knocker match between Braun and Bobby and Drew McIntyre was bonkers good. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. So it's not like he's not producing good. Are we going to find out in 6 weeks that he, like, I don't know, shit in somebody's suitcase, and apparently we don't do that anymore? Like,
maybe, yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there might be another side to this, to the Braun Strowman story that that we don't know, we'll never know, we'll only get hearsay of. But again, why am I going to watch? Why am I going to invest 3 hours of my life into watching a show that's not even good, featuring people that might not be there tomorrow?
So the one thing
it's like why am I like? There's so many shows. Like, okay, Jupiter's Legacy. I would have wanted to watch Jupiter's Legacy. It sounded cool. I would have liked it. And now it's canceled. I'm not gonna waste my time now.
Yeah, unless,
why am I gonna watch it? I know the end now. Like, the end is. So, how am I gonna get invested? Yeah. Welcome. Yeah. So there's no point into watching the WWE. Like, maybe NXT even, but even then you can't even watch NXT because you can't get invested in these people, because then they can just randomly, in case, you know, the old man up top gets a hair up his ass and decides to call somebody up, and then they sit in catering for 6 months and then they get fired. Why am I going to care? Why should I care about Adam Cole? Why should I, you know, because again, Adam Cole could get jumped over to SmackDown tomorrow, or not, I've said tomorrow, it's Saturday, but Adam Cole could show up on SmackDown this week, and he could start this white hot program with Roman Reigns, and you're like, holy shit, Adam Cole's gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the guy to take the belt off of Roman, and then in 3 months they just fire him because it's a Wednesday, and it usually is a Wednesday.
I will say this. The one thing that the WWE has on its competition, which right now is mostly AEW, and for good reason, the one thing it has is that you can watch the WWE without having to jump through hoops.
This is true. I completely agree with you.
I cannot watch AEW. I can probably watch Dark because it's on YouTube and it's easy.
Yeah, you can watch Dark and Dark Elevation. You can, but there's it's not you. There's a difference. There's a difference between. Sorry.
That's all right. They announced so many different opportunities to watch their programming, but none of it is easily accessible. And that's the one problem. We were like, well, who are they going to sign? Oh, did Chris Jericho's contract run out? Fuck all that. Give me a way to watch your show in a way that's modern. Like, I envy our friends on Twitter, like Tara and Kat and all of them, because they have the ability to drive to Jacksonville and watch the shows, which to me, based upon the rigmarole of trying to find AEW, fuck it. I should just drive there and buy a ticket. Like, that just
it would be easier. It would be easier and cheaper for you to do that, because your only other option is to call Spectrum and get cable. And and the monthly payment you're going to make is, you could have just gone to Jacksonville.
$25 a month to watch AEW, or I can drive 2.5 hours and pay $15 for a ticket to watch AEW once a week. I don't know. Both of those end up being about $50 a month, give or take. One of them might be more exciting than the other, and I'd get to see people and hang out with my friends. So that is the one thing that I wanted to not that AEW isn't good. I think it's doing fine. I think their programs are good. I think the wrestling is good. I think everything is good.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, why in this day and age, how is it this hard to watch that program?
Yeah, you said you cannot watch AEW. The biggest difference between WWE and AEW is I cannot watch WWE because I just can't. I can't bring myself to watch it. With AEW, you are physically incapable of it.
Let me clean you up.
Yeah.
I cannot watch AEW. I do not watch WWE.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, there's no, and I've tried to do like the research for you. The only way that you can do it is if you use my Spectrum login.
Right. And
Like,
it's, but why? You can't
yeah,
figure out how to get on Hulu. You can't figure out how to get on a streaming. How come TNT doesn't have a streaming service? And oh, well, they do. I'm not paying $8 for TNT. Like, how
yeah,
is this
exactly.
possible?
Yeah, the only way you can do it is if you have somebody's cable login, which is not feasible. Like there's no, yeah, if hell, even if it was, a month late on HBO Max, there's some corporate connective tissue right there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That is one of the disappointing things about AEW is, as much as I love them, as much as they're a great old school company, they're also an old school company in the fact that you can't watch it anywhere and you have to pay $60 for pay-per-views. Like,
It's funny. It is funny that you mentioned like how come HBO Max isn't taking advantage of this, which is that's actually a good question because you've got the WWE getting scooped up by NBC Universal. Like, is there
yeah.
too many things that connect that you can't put AEW on the HBO
I mean,
Max? I
it's
don't
possible.
know.
I mean, it might be like one of those things where it's like the CW stuff doesn't really show up on HBO Max either. Like Superman and Lois is only on there for like a month or so, and it, because
I don't know.
CW is also partially owned by CBS, and blah 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 blah. Stupid corporate bullshit.
Well, this is what happens when four people own the world.
Yeah. So, but it's and obviously TNT or Time Warner doesn't own AEW. They rent out space to AEW. But yeah, I don't. I don't understand. Maybe when it goes on TBS, it'll be easier to watch. Is TBS a bunny ears thing? I don't know.
I don't know. It's
I
just
don't
one
know.
of those things where it's just. But the other side of the coin is, I don't want wrestling to be appointment television. Appointment
Yeah.
television to me is going to be big shit like Loki or I don't know, something of that era. Like WandaVision was appointment television.
Yeah.
AEW, I'm going to give you a heads up. Pro wrestling will never be appointment television.
No.
At least
Never again.
it's just,
No.
no. There's no need.
No.
So I'm not
Wrestling
going
is
to.
best viewed. Wrestling is 100% best viewed at your convenience. If it exists, it can exist as this thing that people go to, and as it should, and it's better for it. AEW feels better. It was good before, and it feels better now actually having people there. But yeah, right now it's like right now Dynamite is preempted because of I guess the NBA, and so they're doing it from 10 to midnight on a Friday. But the fact that I watched the Nick Camarado Gold Dust Bull Rope match, but I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact, and that's it should the live should always be there. It should always be an option if you need to, so you can not get spoiled, I guess. But yeah, it should always there should be an easier way to watch AEW.
I don't see how it's not.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse, that's enough pro wrestling talk for 1 week. We
Yes.
have some interesting pop culture news that we can talk about and languish. The first and foremost is, you might not be aware of this, but I've got sad news.
Oh boy.
It just released yesterday, September 2nd, 2021. A new series from Marvel Comics will officially debut. Jesse, are you sitting down?
Yes.
In your
Okay.
The title of this event will be The Death of Doctor Strange.
Ah! Yeah. I actually have heard about this, but yeah. And then the second I saw it, I was like, oh, The Death of Doctor Strange. Okay, I'm sure that'll last all of.
Doesn't he have a movie coming out later this year? Like, I bet you it'll correlate somehow.
Yeah, imagine that. Oh, I bet Doctor Strange is a character they're really going to keep dead for forever. He's going to break the comic mold, and he's going to be dead forever.
Dead forever. That is absolutely.
Has there ever been a comic book character that has been dead forever?
Only Uncle Ben.
Only Uncle Ben. And even then, they'll figure out a way to dust him off every once in a while.
Well, it's like Bruce Wayne's parents. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but I bet you in the new The Batman movie, we're going to get a Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot sequence because
Jesus.
you can't have a Bruce Wayne story without touching on the trauma that he's that.
The only time I want to see Bruce Wayne's parents get murdered is when the Teen Titans have to rewrite history and send Bruce's parents back down crime alley. That is the
Yeah.
only time that I want to see that death again.
Every Batman movie must have the death of the Waynes. God damn it, we must have this. So I'm sure that Doctor Strange, the name, and it didn't say Stephen Strange. It just said the death of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I'm sure the death of Doctor Strange will have the same reverence and tragedy as the death of Steve Rogers, the death of Tony Stark, the death of course, the death of Superman. How can you forget the death of Batman?
No, of course. Yeah. Superman definitely stayed 100% dead. Yeah.
Super dead.
Super dead.
That was retconned to find out that Superman was never actually dead. He was just Kryptonian and in a coma, and we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, because we're just stupid Earthlings. Blah 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 blah. So it's funny you're mentioning the parents dying, and I do remember almost how some sort of like a big deal and this sort of sigh of relief thing that when it came out that Tom Holland's first Spider-Man movie was not going to kill Uncle Ben again. It was.
We don't have to. Yeah, it's weird. It's like pop culture knows that character's origin is already good. Like we don't need it again. Like
yeah. If you know, maybe not thing one, because I mean, if you just asked a random person who has zero connection to pop culture, what happened to Batman's parents, they might not know. Like I will give them that, but thing two about comics or pop culture at all, like who doesn't know that Batman's parents were murdered, and that's what sent Bruce on a spiral that eventually led to him becoming the Knight.
A sociopath.
Yeah, a sociopath. Yeah, a rich sociopath.
A rich sociopath.
Yeah.
So the death of Doctor Strange, Jesse Long.
I am R.I.P. One love.
Rip in pieces.
Rip in pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
will pour one out. There we go. I poured one out.
In this day and age, speaking, of course, of the big two, do you believe for a second any of their characters are actually dead?
No. Hell no. There was a book called Deadpool Kills Deadpool, and Deadpool's still alive.
Yeah, well, that was a different Deadpool from a different
I know.
And
I know. I love Deadpool. I love Deadpool Kills Deadpool.
It was a fun. That was
one of my favorite things to read. But
yeah, the idea that to me, this is about as tone deaf as you can conceivably get from Marvel's perspective. Like, we're gonna do a death of storyline. We're
gonna advertise it like it's a big fucking deal. Do as million death of storylines as you want, but they're gonna act like it's some sort of like massive comic event that's gonna have massive implications for all of Marvel.
That will reverberate around all of Marvel. Shut up, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do the one thing you do right and renumber your books back to one.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. All new, all strange, Marvel #1.
There you go. Yeah, and here's the thing. Give me that. Because I was having this conversation with a couple of folks, and I had it with Elle. So I'm very weird, okay? And I admit this. But I looked at Action Comics the other day, and it's issue number 1034. And I picked it up, and I physically looked at that number, and it was listed as the start of a new arc, just like somebody. And I said, God, I don't think we need to be numbering things in the thousands. And people were like, well, what happens when you reach like 1100? Like, do a special issue that is number 1100, and then on the very next day you go back to the very next issue, it becomes issue 1 again.
Yeah,
Why?
exactly. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Like, it's just, it's just, I don't know. I'm sure there's ways that that doesn't work, but I'm sure there's comic book industry reasons why that doesn't work. But yeah, no,
I mean,
I agree with you.
Marvel doesn't give a shit, and I'm all
Yeah.
about it. So I love. Right now I'm reading James Tynion the Fourth's Batman run, and
Mm.
this is every one of my reviews of James Tynion the Fourth's Batman. The issue one of the arc. Okay, issue one. Joker War issue one came out. It's boring as hell. I hate it. Issue two of Joker War came out. It's getting kind of interesting. There's things going on. Issue three of Joker War. I'm all for this. So this is the last issue of Joker War. It's terrible. Next series.
Yeah.
So issue 107. This guy, his name's Ghostmaker. He's brand new. He's awful. I think he's stupid. 3 issues into the Ghostmaker arc. Ghostmaker's the fucking best. Like, I love Ghostmaker. He's
3
so
issues
good.
in, and that's who you're gonna be for Halloween this year.
Yeah, exactly. Miracle Molly, she just had her debut. And I was talking to this with like comic book people at the store, and they're like, well, why does Tinian keep creating all of these ancillary characters like Clown Killer, Miracle Molly, Ghostmaker? Why is he doing all
Toys,
this? I look,
cosplay.
well, what do you think's going to happen to Batman? Like,
Yeah.
you think Harley Quinn's going to die? Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good point. You got to have somebody to kill. So
I can get invested in a character I've never read before, but
yeah.
if you give me a copy of Action Comics where they're like, "Will Superman prevail?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I heard they're making another one of these, so probably."
Oh God, will Superman? What the question of the century? Will Superman survive? Will Superman win in the end? Ultimately, Rick, I have no idea. I'm losing sleep over it. Is Superman gonna be okay?
So all of this sparks.
There's your new DC. There's your new DC event. Is Superman gonna be okay?
Superman has a hangnail. Will he survive? The man who literally can eat a star. I don't know. But that's. I just want DC to recognize that if you just go back to one more often than not, like great example. Nightwing is being written by one of my favorite writers in the world right now, Tom Taylor. I love Tom Taylor. He loves me.
Yeah.
That's great. Lauren loves Tom Taylor. We love Tom Taylor stuff. He's a great writer. Nightwing, one of Lauren's favoriteest characters of all time, has a brand new arc that came out. So they stopped production on all books, of course, to do this Future State storyline, which ended up being, I don't know, a pile of nothing like we all figured it would be. But then they were like, hey, Tom
was it
Taylor's
not just to make cool costumes, and was it not just an excuse to make cool costumes that are toyetic and gives something for cosplayers to do?
I mean, probably, but anyway.
Like anytime they do that, that's all I see. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. Here's a thing you can merch out now.
Yeah, you remember when you were like telling me that everyone's going to be a Mockingbird for Halloween or whatever it was?
What was
I was
it?
like, what the hell? It was some character that was like it was like.
Well, it was Cat. Wasn't it Catwoman becoming Robin?
Oh, Catbird. Yeah, Catbird.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
at any
I'm
rate,
usually wrong anyway, so it's fine.
No, but you're not. Your point that you were making was valid.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that. So you're coming out of Future State. I mean, the book has had 2 months off with no issues. So it was at issue 78. That's where it ended. You're coming out of Future State. You've got a whole new creative team, a whole new storyline, a brand new writer, a brand new artist, everything. What issue number do you think that book should start at?
It should be 1. If it's a new
79.
thing.
Issue 79 is what issue 79. It is issue 79. Yeah. And I asked Lauren, and she was like, I'd like to read Nightwing by Tom Taylor. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's really good. And she but I said, do you want to start at issue 79? Well, sure. And I said, and you're not going to freak out and read issues 1 through 78? She's like, I mean, probably not.
Well, it's another, comics have long been inaccessible, and that's just another symptom of that. Like if you had told me, unless you specifically, Rick, or specifically told me, hey, there's this new Nightwing arc, and if you just said, hey, there's this new Nightwing arc, go check it out, and I went to the store, I'm like, I'm not going to immediately know to go to issue 79 of Action Comics. And then you shouldn't leave it to the comic book store employees to have a little sign that says new jumping on point or whatever the hell the stores are doing. I think that's what
Right.
that I actually know that I designed the fucking graphic. But yeah, so it shouldn't be inaccessible. If you want people to jump in, it should make it I don't know, it should be easier. It should be more obvious. And I think, yeah, if you're just going to change the numbering randomly and the numbering has no meaning, if you're just going to change it again later,
it's not like,
why not make it matter?
It's not like they haven't renumbered Nightwing like 3 times anyway.
Yeah, it's not like this is the only 78. Like, how many issue 78s of Action Comics have there been? Right? Like, let's be real. Like, yeah, probably even 78 issue 78.
But somebody asked me, like, well, then, what about all those other books? Like, you didn't read all of Hellblazer. I said, no, I bought the trades. Oh, so you'll just buy the trades of Nightwing? I said, yeah, probably. But, like, that's kind of annoying, though. Like, these are your options. Option A, start random issue number. Option B, wait for the trade to come out.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that was me too. So, like, I've long wanted to get into go back and read the Shattered Grid arc from the Power Rangers comics. I'm a big Power Rangers nerd. I like the comics and I like the character, and I'm interested in that Lord Dracon run just because it's interesting to me. And I've heard good things about the comics, and I have read some Power Rangers comics, but not a ton of them. There's no easy. What do? I just jump in on Go Power Rangers issue 12. Like, or I'm gonna have to buy a book that's the size of like War and Peace.
Probably not the size of War and Peace, but I understand your point.
Yeah. So.
It's a weird situation because you don't tell people, hey, you want to start Law and Order Special Victims Unit on season 7. Like, oh, what happened in seasons 1 through 6? Well, there's a whole new creative team at the start of season 7, so don't worry about it. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I guess I won't worry.
Well, yeah, like even specifically Law and Order. So they saw their big crossover event where Stabler came back, and I'm like, oh, cool. You know what? I used to watch SVU. I enjoyed watching it. Oh, Stabler's back. But like, I haven't been watching it for years, and I know SVU. It's SVU. Like, there's no point. Like, there's no. I could jump in at SVU at any point. It's not like I'm really missing it.
Procedurals that are easy to just watch and not pay attention to?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not I can turn it on and I'm not gonna be like, oh, what happened to Benson last week? Oh God. No. But but there was definitely like, oh, I haven't been watching for years. And so same thing.
Yeah. Jesse Long, I have a question for you.
What, sir?
Nearing the end of the show, there are lots of things that we've talked about, but I need to know, Jesse.
Yes.
What's pissing you off?
What's pissing me off, Rick? I'm gonna get a little after dark. I know it's early for after dark, but I'm gonna get a little after dark, and I apologize. What's pissing me off is condoms, Rick. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and it's not about them specifically. It's the fact that so the other day we were just noticed, the wife and I noticed, I was like, oh, we don't have any. We don't want to have any more kids, but we don't have any condoms. So I was like, and I told her, I was like, go buy some. And so she gets on the Target app and she could set it for pickup. And it ended up not being able to be available, so they got them shipped to us. And so what's pissing me off is that these little young shits that are coming into their sexual age are never going to have to feel the shame of going to their store, their local gas station or their Publix, and buying the box and walking up to either with like a heart full of nerves and a stomach full of butterflies to buy this pack of Trojan Her Pleasures to make with the sex safely. They can just go on an app and they can just go boop, 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 and you can drive up to Target and somebody else is just going to walk them up and put them in your trunk. That's what's pissing me off. These little shits are never going to know.
Why even bother with that? Just go on Amazon, order as many sex toys as you want, because I love the amount of personal massagers that are available. And you just click a couple of buttons, and some asshole will come to your door, and you can hide behind your door, and then they'll bing the door, and then they'll leave. and then give it like 16 minutes to make sure there's no humans around. And you
But even
the
then,
door
the packaging won't. You wouldn't even know. That your neighbor's not even gonna know. You can just open the door, and they're not gonna know that there's some 9-speed, you know, thing
the
with a
click
bzz on it. So like,
9,000.
yeah. It's like you're like my kid's music teacher lives across the way from me. I really hope she's not outside right now. But you know, she lives across the street from me. If there was a sex toy sitting on my doorstep from Amazon, I could just walk right out and be like, okay, cool, all right. Hey, how's it going? Got it.
Hey, this is my anal beads. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just like random stuff from Amazon. Okay. Bye. No, that's nothing. It's a bee. You heard a bee.
What'd you guys order? Oh, I think we got like some cereal or maybe another shirt or something. I think we might order like one of those nice novelty pillows for the neck or something like that. A giant 12-inch pecker, things like that. Nothing really of interest.
Yeah. But so like it occurred to me that it was like these little like these like 17, 18-year-olds that are like or younger. I don't know what age people get laid at, but it was 18 for me.
24.
So 24, yeah, whatever. You're like, you're never gonna have that like that shame of like. I bought my first pack of condoms at the Publix that I worked at. Probably not the smartest choice, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why that pisses me off. Good for these kids and their ability to do this without shame to the point where they might make bad choices to avert that shame. But I don't know. That was the only that was my only stick in the mud.
I understand that.
What's pissing you off, Rick?
Well, before I get to that, I want to say that I don't disagree with anything you just said, because even to this day, at almost 40 years old, if I walk down the condom aisle of Target and I even look at them, I can feel 3 people like turn the corner and just stare at me.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, I've gotten really good. I've gotten really good at the. All right. Yep.
It's like a frog. Like you got to be really still, and then a fly like lands within 12 feet of it. And it's just like.
And you sandwich it between two regular items. You got to put it between like the Fruit Loops and you got like Fruit Loops and then another box, and you like you make a fort around it.
Or maybe it was Malcolm in the Middle or something where they're like, excuse me, I'm trying to buy my 20-pound bottle, my 20-pound box of cat litter and some Danishes and also these condoms. So I'm just trying to buy some very normal everyday things. And then and you get through the checkout and like they're going through the thing and the boop, boop, and this like 14-year-old girl who it has to like scan your and it's like. Yeah. That's why self-checkout was initially made, so that people could scan it. Just for condom. All right. You asked me what's pissing me off this week, and I'm going to tell you. What's pissing me off this week is the utter lack of clothing available for men. Just complete. I think I've ranted about this 100 times, and I'm going to do it again. So we're finally vaccinated to the point where maybe we can start buying things again. So we unloaded a megaton of shit at Goodwill. We went in, Lauren got a couple of new shirts because she needs some new shirts. And I'm in the guys. Now, if you go to Goodwill, let's say it's the size of this box, right? Yeah, the men's section starts here and ends here. And everything else at Goodwill is available to you. But if you want a men's shirt, you start here and then you go to there. And that's it. That's the men's. Yeah. And then it's always the same 10 assholes. And we're all just staring at each other like, you see anything? No. You see anything? Man, I got a job interview. I'm getting something. Like, it's going to happen. Yeah. I'm like, because I don't want to go to H&M for any number of reasons. And then I don't like paying crazy prices for clothing. I think clothing is one of the most overpriced things in the world. I think it's ridiculous. I know how much it costs to make this shit. I'm well aware. I don't like the idea that like a good deal on Amazon is a nice button down for $15.99. I'm like, why? Why? So I'm in Goodwill. Lauren's getting a whole bunch of cool shit. She's cleaning up. And I'm looking at the same 10 shirts, and I just keep. And then I make like a giant loop and I look through the tchotchkes section and then I come back and Lauren's still finding more stuff. And I go back to the guys section, start looking in the extra largest. Oh, maybe some of these run small. I don't know. Start looking in
Yeah.
the 2Xs, like look over at the pants. Make another loop. I swear to God, I touched everything that I could. And I did not find one goddamn thing. Lauren got a whole new like wardrobe for like $15, which is why I shop at Goodwill.
Yeah.
But there was nothing, and I'm just like, and it's not just Goodwill. Like go to
Yeah.
Forever 21. I dare you to go to Forever 21. A very
but okay.
a very like progressive store that is
Okay.
understanding that everyone is not necessarily binary gender anymore. Gender binary. Pardon me. Find the men's section. I dare you.
I didn't even know they had a men's section, Rick. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
I dare you. Go into any store that sells men's and women's clothing or however they want to, document it. Find the men's section. Go to Hot Topic.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No. 100%. This isn't. Yeah. Like nothing against the lady folk, but yeah, you go to Target and the entire front half of the store is women's clothes, and then the men's section is, it's like the size of a candy bar.
Do you want some whatchamacallit tees? What do you want, some print tees? Is that what you want?
Yeah, lots of graphic T-shirts. Like something with like the NASA logo or the Taco Bell logo, or something referencing my childhood that on a shirt that'll never fit me and a shirt that's gonna shrink on me the second I wash it. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you got in the way of nice button downs? Oh, they're $25 per shirt.
I have definitely bought nice clothes from Target. That's the only place I would buy. That is the only place I've bought anything remotely resembling nice is at Target. Just have to go to like a wedding, or we're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna have a nice dinner with such and such family member. You can't wear your Wrestling Nerds Radio Network T-shirt and a pair of cargo shorts. I'm like, oh, why? They're like, she's like, okay, go get a polo, you fucking baby. I'm like, all right, okay, there, fine, all right. And then I have to go there, and even for me, it's because I'm a big and tall boy, so so that's also like, okay, cool. So I can buy this black polo or this black polo.
For $34.
For $34. I can settle on this polo for $34, or I can settle on this polo for $35.
Well, one of them is on discount, so it's only $32.
That's true. Yeah, if one of them happens to have like a clearance sticker on it, I'm definitely buying it.
And it's only $29 with your Target discount.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but that said, if I have way more pairs of like Target active shorts than any one man should have. And I'm pretty sure everything I'm wearing at this exact moment also came from Target.
Yeah, but my point being is that
no, yeah, I agree.
It bugs me. And especially because I have to rebuy clothing now because I'm about to head back to the office. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
And also you've lost a fair amount of weight too. So like you've got like you have to like rebuy stuff for your new body type and all that. Yeah.
Which is only going to last 6 weeks until I find ho-hos. Oh, Jesse, ask me what I learned this week. Ask me.
What'd you learn this week?
Jesse Long, I learned that you could buy red velvet cake Oreo cookies. Oh, not Oreo.
Oh my God.
Chips Ahoy. Chips Ahoy red velvet. Red velvet Chips Ahoy.
Okay. Well, goodbye, everybody.
Hold on.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh, gosh. Standing was a poor choice. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything hurts. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Look at those things. Those look wonderful. Oh, yeah.
Okay, hey, let me sit down. Oh, God. Nope, can't sit there. Too high. Oh, Jesus. Oh, there we go. We're back. Everybody, we're back. So yeah, that's what I learned this week, and I'm gonna try those. And I had to make a promise to myself that that is a dessert food, and I
Yeah,
can only have two
there you go. That's
because
smart. That's smart.
I can open that and I can finish that before the end of this show. And I realize we've only got like one segment left, but I bet I could do it. Jesse, what did you learn this week?
Uh, I learned that my kids don't know what the phrase "last one" something like "last one in the pool," "last one here," "last one there," "last one" is a rotten egg. And
Right.
it's been a interesting spot of contention for the past like week or so. So we're in the pool. We're a lot of like getting in the pool, getting out of the pool, running in the pool, cannonballs, that kind of shit. The number of times I've heard my kids say, "last one is the rotten egg," and I learned but then they're like getting upset at each other, and I quickly learned that my kids do not know what that actually means. Like they don't realize, and I've had to try to explain to them, but they don't listen because they're busy playing in the pool. That last one is a rotten egg doesn't mean it means like, come on guys, let's go, last one, come on, hurry up, let's do it. What my kids have taken, that they have interpreted in their little child brains, last one in is a rotten egg means if you're the last one in the pool, you fucking suck and you're the worst and you deserve to die. And it's a very interesting just watching my kids find and misinterpret this, like this saying.
I don't think that's misinterpreting it at all. I think your kids are
Is
right.
that
I
is
think
that
they're
is that
absolutely
your
right.
interpretation of it?
Yes, I think that everything is a blood sport, and at no point in time should you ever cede a loss to anyone. Win or die. That has always been the way of America, and by God, we need to
So
continue that.
whatever you do, finally come over to my pool, and you're gonna be in the pool. You're gonna like shoot on one of my kids just to make sure you can cannonball in first.
Listen, listen. If I have to establish dominance against an 8-year-old, then so help me God, they will
You-
understand what it means to be in a Kimura. Okay? They will know. All right. If I have to walk into your pool and take an actual shit in your pool so that everyone knows this is mine now, then
this
I'm
is
gonna
Rick's
do it.
pool.
This is Rick's pool. You can fight me, you will lose, but this is Rick's pool. I will beat up anyone unless they're bigger than me or more skilled, in which case I will not challenge them.
This is Rick's pool. Wait, it's his pool. It's fine. They're good.
No, it's
We're good.
it's that guy's pool. He's much larger than I am. I'm leaving. Excuse me.
But this is Rick's second. I'm second in line. I am next in line
If
for
he
this pool.
leaves, that's my
This is
pool.
Rick's pool.
Anyone
It's
want to
true.
fight me? Not hit. Not. I don't want to fight him. He's not. We've already decided he's winning.
Yeah.
Jesse, if somebody wants to get this really awesome Wrestling is for Everyone T-shirt and other accoutrement that Elle and I will be wearing tomorrow and through the rest of Pride Month and in general, coming up for Father's Day, I've got a very special shirt that Jesse made for me that I can't wait to debut.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to get a hold of things like that, what can you tell them? How, Jesse Long? You know what? Get your shit in.
You know what? You can find that amazing shirt designed by an amazing graphic designer at fullygimmick.com. Fullygimmick.com. It's the fullest of gimmicks. You go there. There's specifically we've got the Wrestling is for Everyone shirt. There's a million other designs on there. A lot of them are done by me. The more fun stuff's probably not. There's a million things on there, and you should buy everything. There was a sale last week. You missed it. But I'm sure there will be another sale again. There will be more shirts coming. I am behind on my fully gimmick design work. There's a design for somebody that I haven't had a chance to get to, and I've apologized to Zach at least 3 times for it already. And there will be a great many other things coming to fully gimmicked, and I will make sure to put them over as best as I possibly can. You can find us on Twitter at Team HAMMAFIST, TEAMHAMMAFIST. You can find the Rick Pile over at the Reed Pile, THEREADPILE. You can find our significantly better podcast friends at the IndyCast, INDYKAST, and we've got a new member to the Wrestling Nerds Radio Network. We've got Kate Nix. Holy shit, Kate Nix. She's fantastic. Yeah,
Why
the
should it have
lullaby.
anything to do with us?
What? What was that?
Why would you have anything to do with us?
God, we're gonna ride those coattails until they are tatters. The Lullaby Lounge has there's a new podcast, audio only version of Kate's Twitch show, The Lullaby Lounge, which is now on the Wrestling News Radio Network. It's great. It's a wonderful, there's songs and, voices and talking and so much more talent than like one episode it has infinitely surpassed anything that Rick and I have done in the collective, collaborative 15 years almost of Wrestling Nerds Radio Network.
Let's not break our necks sucking the dick of this show so hard, Jesse Long.
Exactly.
Let's peel it back just a little bit, if we
a
could.
little bit. No, so definitely listen to all these wonderful shows on there. And then I will say, keep an eye on the Internet Title Twitter page. Something's happening. Something's gonna happen, and hopefully at least it'll show up on Friday.
I'm really enjoying you coming to the reality that this was a terrible idea as the sun is rising and is slowly blocking your eyes. And
it's been that way for a while, Rick.
I know. That's why I've been keeping the show going so slowly. Is I wanted to watch you become more and more miserable.
Oh God, staring directly into the sun. Yeah, I could.
It makes me laugh.
Oh, no, sun's that way. Sun's that way. Let me see. I gotta avoid the sun. I am a pale goth boy at heart, and I can't let the sun touch me for too long. Otherwise, I will sizzle and I will smell like fried chicken in Bath and Body Works.
You were always going to smell like fried chicken.
I mean, that's my natural, like, oh dear.
Yeah, exactly. Your funk. For the American dad-ass Jesse Long, I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman, reminding you all that after 15 years of doing this show, I finally have a good end line, and it is, you can't spell MMA without Team HAMMA FIST. Holy shit, why did that take so long?
And you said it wrong.
No, I said it intentionally. You can't spell MMA without Team HAMMA FIST.
Okay, there we go. All right, good. Yes. 15 years on.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. To make Jesse's OCD better, you can't spell Team HAMMA FIST without adding MMA. So I am, of course, the Sussman, Rick Sussman. We will be back in 2 weeks' time for more anger and despondence and probably talking about movies that we're not going to see. Jesse Long?
Yes.
I believe it's time for you to take us away.
Yes.
Such an asshole.
Yeah.